All right. I think we're live. Hey, everyone. Welcome to another episode, another live streaming thing. I don't know if I would call these episodes. Welcome to another NerdSync Live, is what we're going to just say for right now. I wanted to do this one. We wanted to do these, about once a month or so, and I figured I better get this one out of the way really soon because, December, kind of a crazy month for holidays. So I wanted to just kind of look back at the year, talk about some of the comics that I thought personally were some of my favorites and maybe even some of my least favorites, And I want to know what you guys think as well. So all this is going to be personal opinion. It's just going to be stuff that, number one, I can even remember reading. And also ones that I personally feel were my own favorites or the ones that I was just very disappointed by. So I want to know what you guys think as well. So always write in the comments there. Fantastic. I'm seeing you guys already. I'm going to share this around a bit, and if you guys can share it and then as well on your favorite social media platform, then we will get started. But as I'm sharing it around, I just wanted to ask you guys right off the bat, what was your favorite comic this year? And hopefully I've read it, or what's your favorite comic that maybe you're sure I haven't read? Something that's not super popular, but you think is a really good story and definitely deserves more attention than it's getting. All right, let me share this around, and I'll start the thing. Tweeting it out there. Fantastic. All right, so I'm seeing a lot of you guys commenting here. Secret Wars. We will talk about Secret Wars. I guarantee it. It's why I made it the thumbnail of this podcast, or live stream rather, because I don't know. We'll talk about it for sure. Let's see. American Alien. Did American Alien come out? All right. Look, guys, I don't follow comic book news that much, but I do know American Alien is Max Landis's take on Superman, right? That's the one I'm thinking of. If it came out, I just totally missed it. I kind of want to read it because he's always talking about how how he would do a better Superman story. So yeah. Captain America, Civil War. Oh, that's a different thing. Recently started reading Miss Marvel, and I love it. It's so good, right? It's so good. One of my favorites, consistently super good, Miss Marvel. Man, so good. Let's see. Nova and Miss Marvel. A lot of you guys are saying Miss Marvel. That's good. Spider-Verse. Yeah, that was pretty good. American Alien. So American Alien did come out. I just missed it. All right. Clearly, I need to go read that. Yeah. Batman Endgame. Fantastic. All right, yeah. I have a very rough list that I kind of want to go through. That includes stuff from Marvel and DC and other independent publishers, because I know a lot of you guys are wondering if I ever read anything that's not Marvel and DC. And I do. I just make videos about Marvel and DC because they're more recognizable. So yeah, I do read a lot of indie comics out there. We'll talk about some. But yeah, I want to talk about one pretty big thing, pretty big character, Batman. And there's Jim Gordon being Batman recently in the Batman comics. I want to know what you guys think about this one, because I personally really like it. I know a lot of people are complaining about like the design of the thing. I mean, this is old news, right? But it's a year in review type of thing. So yeah, I think it's really awesome. I'm a few issues behind, but I'm always a few issues behind of everything. But from what I've read, I really enjoyed it. He had that whole tank, that bat tank of, instead of a Batmobile, it was like an entire moving building. It was crazy. And then he just immediately crashed it. So I thought that was pretty cool and pretty fun. Yeah, I enjoy it. Yeah, a lot of you guys are saying you like it too, which is good. We did a whole headcanon about what makes Batman Batman. And yeah, I think It's awesome to see that a lot of you guys liked it as much as I do. So that's really cool. Yeah, I think it's cool. Max Landis made a Superman comic. Yeah, apparently I gotta go read that. Cool. So yeah, Batman, Jim Gordon Batman, really good stuff. I would recommend it. I think it's pretty cool. I say we should be like kind of how do we want to format this? Like do one good one that I was a little bit disappointed with, and kind of flip flop between the two. I don't know. I think I was just more. I remember the ones that I like more than the ones that I don't like. However, guys, what's the point of Secret Wars? What happened? / is happening. I don't get it. I kind of was on board for it at first, but man, it's being dragged out and it's being delayed and it's not even that good. And it doesn't seem to have a point to it. And I was very disappointed with it because when they first announced Secret Wars and they kept building it up to be this big thing about Marvel is finally going to officially reboot the entire universe, and then they just didn't. They kind of merged some stuff together, but the stories continued, and I was really hoping for like a New 52 hard reboot with Marvel because that would really help new readers get on board, and they just didn't do it. I mean, it's still going on, so I don't know, and it's just not particularly great in my personal opinion. I stopped reading it quite some time ago. I know a lot of people do like it, which is fine, obviously to each their own. I can't get into it. I mean, you guys probably know this about me if you listen to one of our podcasts that we've done about, I just don't like big event comics that much. I feel like they build it up to be these big game-changing things, and they just never change anything. Or if they do change something, it's just immediately fixed, a few months later. So, yeah, I don't know. I was very disappointed with both Secret Wars and Convergence. I think Convergence was cool because of the tie-ins, like the versus fights and everything. I thought that was really cool. Some of those were good, but the main story, they were both kind of not super great. Old Man Logan. I read a couple Old Man Logan issues for Secret Wars. I liked it at first, and then it kind of went a little bit downhill in my opinion. But yeah. Oops, I need to turn off my notifications. Completely skipped it. Is the new Marvel any good? Yeah, I mean, I think it's there are a couple, and we'll get to them. There are a couple that I think are pretty good. Invincible Iron Man, I think, is everyone's like number one pick so far, from what I get. So, I also just read. Somebody recommended that I read the Vision comic, and I think it has 2 issues out right now. And I just got done reading it, and it's so interesting. Just I think it's right now it hasn't built up to anything that I would say I would highly recommend it, but it's interesting, and they're putting these little nuggets of like what's to come in the future of this series, and it makes you really want to stick around and figure out what's going to happen to these characters. I would say if that's probably one of the most interesting books right now for Marvel is Vision's comic. So yeah, I think that's something to look out for. Hopefully what they're building towards is actually a good payoff, and it's not going to be something kind of weird or lame. But yeah, Spidey #1. Good. Who brought that up? Jordan A. I just bought that. I haven't read it yet, but I really like the concept of it. And I believe that's the comic where they're going back in time to when Spider-Man was still in high school to kind of show his early days as Spider-Man, which is awesome. And I definitely want to read that. I was going to read it the other day, but I was so exhausted from recording videos and writing videos that I just needed sleep. But I did buy it. I'm going to read it. I'm happy to hear that it's good. Invincible Iron Man is amazing. That's what a lot of you guys are saying. Shattered Empire. Yeah, let's talk about some of the Star Wars ones, because I haven't read too many of the Star Wars ones. I'm subscribed to the Darth Vader comic, but I've only read like the first issue. But I keep hearing that it's either people really love it or people really hate it. But Shattered Empire, yeah, that's one that I've heard a lot of people say is one of their favorites. So I think I'm gonna have to. I think it also dominated it was the best selling comic of the month that it premiered as well. So I think I gotta give that one a chance. Yeah. Doctor Strange, I did read Doctor Strange. I really liked it. I mean, that was the book that I said that I was the most excited for the new Marvel, all new Marvel or whatever it's called. That's the book I said I was most excited for, and yeah, it was pretty good. I'm looking forward to the rest of that series. Let's see. Invincible is awesome. Yeah, all new Wolverine. Ooh, I have all new Wolverine. I think I read. Yeah, I did read that. That's with X-23, right? I read that first issue of that. I really liked it too. I mean, I have a soft spot for X-23 though, because she's great, and so I'm excited to see. Here, let me turn my volume up a little bit. Some of you guys are saying I'm quiet. Yeah, but I'm excited to see her more in the Marvel universe, which is awesome. All right, cool. Let's talk about. We talked a lot about Marvel right now, and we'll totally get back to it. Oh, you know what? One thing I did want to mention before we continue, because we were kind of on the subject of Secret Wars, and that is the one Secret Wars tie-in that I loved and I could not promote enough, and I probably put it out there on Twitter and podcasts and all sorts of places. Thor's was a great book. It was a kind of a police procedural type thing, like a crime drama where all of the characters were Thor, different versions of Thor. So you had the Frog Thor, you had the Ultimate Thor, you had Odinson, there was like a Groot Thor and Storm and all sorts of awesome versions of Thor. And it all in Beta Ray Bill obviously was kind of the main focus of the book. It was his death and trying to figure out who was responsible for it, and it was so good. It was so good. Yeah, I really liked that book a lot. So if that's probably the one good thing for me that came out of Secret Wars was that tie-in, because it was just spectacular. I really enjoyed it. Fantastic. Let's talk about some DC stuff. Yeah, Thor's right. Yeah, everyone. Yeah, let's talk about some DC. We already talked about Bat Gordon, which I think is interesting. There's a new Green Lantern starting with issue number 41, that Green Lantern story that's going on right now, where Hal Jordan's got like the long hair and the trench coat and the gauntlet and everything. And again, as always, I'm a few issues behind on that one, but the issues that I've read so far, I really like the feel and tone of that one a lot. I like Green Lantern. I'm more of a Kyle Rayner fan than a Hal Jordan fan, but this book is really interesting because it kind of reminds me of the animated series of Green Lantern, where they're on the spaceship and they're just flying around the universe, just solving crimes. Not really solving crimes, but, fighting crime and righting wrongs and all sorts of great stuff. And that's the kind of feel that this comic gives me when I'm reading it. Is that same kind of ship in a bottle type of a thing that you get with, almost something like Star Trek-esque, but with a lot more action, obviously. Star Trek was more kind of political based. But Green Lantern, really good so far. What do you guys think? Have you guys read the Green Lantern comic that's out right now? Or any of the Green Lantern? I mean, there's got to be multiples, right? I thought that was... Yeah, I'm really enjoying it. Cool. Superman Truth. Yeah, that's one. I actually keep getting confused between Superman and... is it All Star Comics? That sounds right. The other Superman one. And yeah, I keep getting those confused, their stories and everything confused. So I keep going from one issue to the next and jumping between, and I get so lost because I don't know what's happening. And then I'm like, oh wait, no, I think I was trying to pick up the story in the other one, not this one, and then just jumping all over the place. But I do like it. It's interesting to see Superman fight not something that's something that he can punch. It's like an information kind of a villain, which is pretty neat. Do you wish DC and Marvel would let their characters have regular lives and die in normal real world time? Yeah, I think so. I think something that I started reading. If you guys know this, I was sent lots of Valiant comics, thanks to the people from Valiant Comics, and I've been reading them a lot lately, and they are so good, guys. Valiant Comics, I can't recommend them enough. We've got a few videos coming up about them in the future, but yeah, really, really good stuff. And I really like how they handle their characters, and I also like how something they do really well is they have a connected universe, but you don't have to read everything to know what's going on, or at least you don't feel pressured to read everything to know what's going on. I've been jumping around in like the completely wrong order of comics to read, reading something that happens in the future, then going back and reading what happened to set that up, and I'm never lost. Like, everything makes total sense, even though they're brand new characters to me. So yeah, highly recommend Valiant. If I had to recommend a few, I would say Archer and Armstrong is fantastic. Bloodshot, obviously. Exo Manowar. I'll just stop at those three, but yeah, they're really good stuff. Yeah. What's Valiant? Oh boy. No, but seriously, yeah. Go check out Valiant Comics. They have some fantastic, amazing stuff. And while we're on the subject, let's go ahead and talk about some indie stuff that I really liked this year. So I was sent a comic book called Sidekicked. I was sent the entire first volume. I don't know how many issues are actually out currently, but I was sent the first volume digitally, and they were like, hey, read our comic and give us a review or whatever. And I was like, I don't really do reviews, but I'll still read your comic. And guys, I have to say, this comic is great. It really is. And I'm not just saying that because I got it for free. I was actually going to buy it when the first issue came out, but I was like, you know what? I'm just going to wait till the volume comes out and read it that way. Because that's how I like to binge read comics. I don't like to read issue by issue, which is why I'm really behind on a lot of comics, because I like to wait till the trades come out. But they sent me the whole first volume of Sidekicked, and it's great. It's really fun, really fast. I actually read it all accidentally in one sitting, because I just opened it up and go, oh, this is pretty art, and I just start scrolling through it, just going through it, and in one complete sitting, I had, from start to finish, it was awesome. I really enjoyed it. So, yeah, I say go check that one out. That's a good one. I don't know who publishes that, but it was good. It was good. Let's see. Have I read The Flash? The Flash is a comic that for some reason I decided I was exclusively going to read in trades. So I've read the first 3 or 4 trades of New 52 Flash, but I haven't kept up with it. But that's the one, like, that's a comic that I just need to read in trade form. Have I read Five Ghosts? Yes. Five Ghosts is spectacular. I've only read the first arc of it, the first volume, but it's so good. I bought the other ones, but I haven't read them yet. I'm gonna make time for it. Grayson, I read the first issue of. I didn't particularly care for it, but people have told me that it gets it's really good, that I should continue with it. So I don't know. If it's out, it's probably out in some sort of trade form. I'll pick it up and read it. In that way. Vader Down looks really good. I haven't read it yet, but that's another Star Wars one that I read the plot summary of it. I think I may have bought the first issue, but I don't know for sure. That looks spectacular. Let me know how that is. Yeah. That's Scott Snyder, right? I haven't read it, but again, that's one that I've heard is really good. Same with Wake. Somebody mentioned Wake. Am I disappointed with the grammar in the comment section? Not really. People, I write terribly as well. Who am I to judge? Yeah, Grayson gets a lot better. Good. That's what I hear. A lot of you guys are asking about We Are Robin. I read the first issue, and there's also Robin War that's out right now. Yeah, I like it. I like the idea of it, especially Robin War seems really interesting. And I can't wait to see where they go with that, because I think it tackles a lot of really tough themes that's very relevant right now. Yeah, really good stuff going on at DC. Yeah, OMG, too many comics to read. Yeah, tell me about it, guys. There are so many comics to read and so little time, which is why I feel bad having to like consolidate to like reduce my comic book pull list just down to the bare essentials of what I feel like I need to be reading. And so it's really hard when publishers release these new comics about these characters that I want to read, but I just don't have the time to. And that's why I have so many comics that I'm subscribed to, but haven't even started yet. Disappointing. On my part, not the publishers. Doing good stuff. Let's see. Dark Side War, I'm super behind on that one, so I don't have an opinion on it yet. I think I've only read the first one or two of them. So yeah. Let's see. Let me see what else is on my list. Oh, here's another indie comic. It's one called Oxymoron, which is really interesting. It's just about a really crazed psychopathic killer who is almost kind of Joker, Riddler-esque, and, you know, kills people in these really theatrical ways that, you know, he I don't know. The reason he's called Oxymoron is because he, you know, kills people that are kind of, that are kind of a paradox in a way. You know, bad people who do good things or good people who do bad things, and he just kind of really makes a display of it, and it's really good. I recommend that one. It's super gory and bloody and brutal, but yeah, it's pretty interesting stuff. I never watched the live streams live. No, Chris and Bryce have never joined, mostly because I don't even tell them about these. I probably should, though. Yeah. I'm checking out the comments right now for you guys, or from you guys, rather. Let's see. What do you think of Night of the Living Deadpool? Haven't read it. Haven't read any Deadpool comics this year. You guys know how I feel about Deadpool. Not a huge fan, and again, I have to, you know, consolidate my comic book pull list to just the essentials. So I miss out on a lot of stuff. What's the most expensive comic you read? Like a weekly? I don't know. A lot of stuff from Marvel and DC is like rivaling $5 an issue, which is just ridiculous. And a big reason why I have to shorten my list down. We Stand on Guard. Yes, thank you for mentioning this. Yes, it is a fantastic comic that I've brought up a lot. Another indie one. I've described it as almost Red Dawn meets the giant fighting robots from Pacific Rim. But it's a fight between Canada and America. It's a war between Canada and America, and you're on the side of the Canadians. Like, that's where the protagonists are, and you get to see America as these like huge bullies that we kind of are, and it's so much fun and such a good read. I think check that one out. I've recommended that a bunch on anywhere that I can, and again, couple issues behind, as always, but I really like the concept of it. It's like a futuristic, war type thing, and they got these beautiful giant robots and these really funny like group of soldiers, and it's there's that whole big monologue in the first issue about how Superman is actually Canadian, which I actually took some screenshots of, and I wanted to make an episode about because it's interesting stuff. Yeah. Let's see. checking out some more of your guys' comments. Dark Knight Returns 3. Haven't started reading it. I've heard people tell me that it starts off great. So, no spoilers there, but I'm going to read it. There is an interesting Batman book that's out right now, I think called Batman Europa, which is about him. I think it's a 4-part miniseries where he and Joker are infected with some sort of virus, and they have to work together to cure themselves. And so far, the first issue is just a lot of fun. And it's, the art is beautiful. So definitely, definitely check that one out too. Let's see. A lot of comments coming in, guys. A lot of comments. Jimmy Olsen is one that I am still subscribed to, but have not read yet. So, because I love Jimmy Olsen, does he have his own comic, or I'm subscribed to Bizarro, and he's in that. That's what I'm thinking of. Does he have his own comic? I might have missed that one. I should be subscribed to that. Yeah. Cool. Yep. Sorry, just reading some of the comments. Batman, the art on Batman Europa is awesome. It really, really is some beautiful comic book art. Let's see. Renew Your Vows. I have not read. I bought all of it, but I haven't read it because I just didn't have time. But people tell me it's good. And some people also told me that I should have referenced that in my video about whether or not great power does equal great responsibility, because they told me that that's a theme that book struggles with, or not struggles with, but showcases rather. And yeah, so I guess I wish I could have read that in advance. Yeah. Batman, Doctor Strange, Groot. Haven't read Groot. Red Hood Arsenal, I read a couple issues of, and I really like their dynamic, but the book itself didn't strike me as anything particularly grand, I guess. But I do like them. I really do like them. So I'll continue reading it for sure. I just might be a little bit behind. Best comic book series of the year. That's a really tough question. My favorite one out of just the small list that I have compiled so far, I have no idea. What do you guys think? What's your absolute favorite one of the year so far? That's what I should ask you. I really liked Thor's a lot. I like miniseries, which is, I think better than it's easier to digest than a full ongoing story. So Thor's was good. Let's see, Sidekicked was really good. I would recommend that one. Let's see. Ant-Man. Ant-Man has his own book. That was really good too. I was surprised because I thought that was just going to be, obviously it was Marvel trying to tie in the comics to the movies and everything like that, and trying to capitalize on the movie sales to get some comic book sales. So I just thought, they're just going to throw whatever together and it's not going to be very good. But it was consistently really funny and really, yeah. I just think it was an interesting read. I feel like I'm complimenting every book in the same way, but yeah, it was really good. I liked it. Yeah, Spider-Gwen was out. Was that this year? Yeah, right? I think so. I have a terrible memory, guys. But yeah, Spider-Gwen was good. Again, Miss Marvel has just been consistently wonderful. Those would be my picks, I think. So you guys are saying Grayson was your favorites, Secret Wars, Future's End, Batman, yeah, Renew Your Vows. Cool. So these are ones that I probably should read. That's why we do this, so that I can get suggestions from you guys on what to read. I have not read Harley Quinn yet. I know a lot of you guys are requesting that. Scott comic. Right, yeah, of course. The Batman and TMNT crossover. Yeah, is that? I don't follow comic book news, guys. Is that out, or is that? That's just coming out eventually. I did remember hearing about that though. Will you announce who won the Shazam poster? Yeah, I did. I didn't make a big announcement about it, but I did pick a winner already. I sent them a YouTube message, and I got their address. They live in a very far off country, so if the shipping to that is something that's gonna be like super ridiculously costly, then I'll probably pick another winner. So keep an eye on your YouTube messages inbox thing, or if you have an email address that you put in like your about page on your channel page, that's probably going to be easier. But yeah, already picked a winner for that. We will see. Which comic did I hate most this year? We already talked about it, but I know a lot more people are here now. I did not care for Secret Wars. I mean, yeah. I thought I wanted it to be better than it was. I think that's probably why I was disappointed with it, is because I wanted it to be great. Because the original Secret Wars comic was one of the first comics that I ever personally read, and that was super good for getting me into comic books, for like getting me into the Marvel comics of like, these are basically all the important characters that you need to know about all together. Here are all their dynamics. And it actually introduced me to, because it was one of the first comics I ever read, it introduced me to the Absorbing Man, who I thought was the most interesting villain ever. And I was super glad to see him on Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. This season, last season? I can't keep up with seasons either. But yeah, that was good. So I guess I was disappointed in the recent Secret Wars because I just wanted it to be as good as I remembered the original being, and also to actually reboot the Marvel Universe, and they just didn't do it. So I was very sad about it. Let's see. Well, that's my first comic book. It was probably not any Marvel or DC or any superhero ones. It was probably a Cartoon Network comic book, like something that featured Dexter's Lab or Ed, and Eddie or something like that, But then I tried to get into comics, and I went to a comic book store with my dad, and I picked up an issue of Daredevil, just a random issue of Daredevil, completely lost because I had no idea that comics were ongoing stories. I thought they were self-contained issue things. So yeah, then I just kind of stopped for a while. Let's see. Do you think a Marvel DC crossover event could ever be possible? Yeah, it's happened a few times, actually. There was Justice League / Avengers, or Avengers / Justice League, and there's also Marvel versus DC. So, and just all the other in-between stuff that's happened occasionally. Yeah, so it's definitely possible. I don't think it'll happen anytime soon, but it can happen again. Am I disappointed in the aftermath? All right, so Mopey says, are you sure I'm not disappointed in its aftermath rather than the event? I'm disappointed in both. I stopped reading the event itself because it just didn't grab me. It wasn't very interesting. And I am also disappointed with the aftermath. So I'd say both. They're not mutually exclusive. I cannot like both of those things. Cool. Favorite comic book movie and TV show this year? That's a good question, Mohammed. I would say my favorite, and this is one that I'm going to propose to you guys as well, your favorite comic book movie and comic book TV show this year. Favorite TV show has to go to Daredevil, because that's my favorite comic book TV show of all time right now. So definitely give it to Daredevil on that one. Movie is a trickier one. Let's see, what came out this year? Age of Ultron, Ant-Man, Fantastic Four. No, but did anything come out any bit earlier than that? I don't remember it. Most of the comic. If I had to pick one, I'd probably say Age of Ultron, just of the ones that I've listed. But I'm probably forgetting some. So if I've missed any of the movies, let me know. I think I did, but I can't be 100% sure about that. Yeah. Age of Ultron is probably what I'm going with. You guys, all right, cool. You guys are saying Flash and Arrow and Ant-Man, Jessica Jones. Jessica Jones was good. We have our review coming up tomorrow, so make sure you don't miss that on iTunes or, SoundCloud. That's the other one. Cool. Kingsman, I haven't seen yet, and I really want to see it. But, yeah, I'll see it eventually. So I think that's probably, yeah, Fantastic Four, Fan Four Stick, is the clear winner of the best comic book movie of the year. But yeah, awesome. Flash Gotham. Yeah, Gotham has been pretty interesting this season. It ended, right? Yeah, I watched it all, I think. I think it was better than the last season. A little bit more focused, but it's still kind of all over the place for me. All right, let's see. Ant-Man is clearly the best. Yeah, I liked Ant-Man a lot. We've already talked about it. Let's see if there's any other comics I meant to bring up that I haven't brought up yet. I don't think so. I think I talked about everything. Yeah, pretty sure I talked about everything. Favorite comic storyline right now? It's not a current comic, but I'm reading a lot of, as I said earlier, I'm reading a lot of Valiant comics. And so I'm reading, let me just, 1 second. They sent me, this is just a small portion of the stack that they sent me of Valiant comics. And I have a lot more in the other room that I'm actually reading. So this is what I've been reading lately. Let me get closer to the microphone. This is what I've been reading lately. And it is incredibly interesting stuff. Archer and Armstrong and Bloodshot have to be my favorites, I think, right now. But Exo Manowar is spectacular. So those are the ones that I recommended earlier. So yeah, definitely good stuff. Check out Valiant Comics, guys. Check out Valiant Comics. Why did I stop periscoping? Simply because I forgot about it. No other reason than that. I meant to keep doing it, and then I got distracted, and I forgot about it, and no one reminded me, and then it just kind of fell off the face of the earth. Sorry. Who's your favorite comic book YouTuber apart from my humble self? Good question. I don't follow too many other comic book YouTubers because I don't want them to impact how I run my channel. And I don't want whatever they do to consciously or subconsciously rub off on, how we run NerdSync. So I would say my favorite comic book YouTube channel has to be... Does Mr. Sunday count? He does movies and comics and TV, so not strictly comic book channel, but tackles some comic book stuff. So that will count for me. That's what I'll say. I get to say whatever I want because it's my show. But yeah. Fantastic. Are you going to talk about your opinion on the trailers? Good question. We did a podcast about the Civil War trailer, which will be coming out in a few weeks because we record them in advance, so obviously you're getting all of them a little bit later. It's going to be old news by that point. And then, immediately after we recorded that podcast, basically Justice League, but Batman v Superman trailer 2 came out, and we don't have time to record it this year. We'll probably talk about it on some future podcast very briefly, but we're not going to dedicate a whole podcast to it. So, yeah, that's what's going on there on that front. How did you get in contact with Mr. Sunday Movies? I just commented on one of his videos, and then somebody said, hey, I hope I'm remembering this correctly. Somebody said, oh, hey, I love these two channels. You guys should do a collab. And then he was like, yeah, we should. And I said, all right, you want to be on our podcast sometime? And then he's been on our podcast twice and just has been a really awesome person to talk to and hang out with and do things with. Not in person because we're, in completely different continents. But he's a cool guy. That's basically how it happened. I mean, the way I meet most comic book YouTubers is simply just by commenting on their videos. Or not even comic book YouTubers, but just YouTubers in general. It's just by commenting on people's videos and then other people going in and going, oh my gosh, you should collab together. And then that's it. That is how it happens. Another favorite YouTuber non-comic, Idea Channel is the one I always go to. PBS Idea Channel, really good stuff. Mike Rugnetta, top notch. If you haven't seen any of their stuff, but you've watched a lot of NerdSync and you jump over to watch a couple of their videos, you will see I am very heavily inspired by how they do things over on their channel. So yeah, that's a good one. Love me some Sunday. Favorite comic book video game? I really like the Arkham games a lot. Holy cow, guys. I'm not a gamer at all, but they announced that Batman Telltale game. What? That's going to be amazing. Man, that's going to be... Well, like I said, I'm not a gamer at all, but I will play the poop out of that game. I am going to just lock myself away in a room, away from the world, and just play it start to finish. And it's going to be my favorite thing of all time. I guarantee it. Has Matt Pat contacted me again? Not really. And by that I mean, no. Original Spin, yes, I have read We Stand on Guard. We talked about it a little bit earlier. I definitely highly recommend that book. Super fun. Let's see. Let's see. Start reading the comments. Hellboy and BPRD. I read, I think, the first issue of that. We'll see where that goes. Haven't formed an opinion about it yet. You should do a collab with Eris over at Variant. He's been on our podcast twice, so I think that's something. Yeah. Let's see. Favorite villain of like just this year or overall? Favorite villain overall, probably Lex Luthor. I am very excited about Jesse Eisenberg's performance. Like in that trailer, he was fantastic. I love Lex Luthor, guys. He's one of my, as I said, he's probably my favorite villain just because of how much I can, like the way that he's written sometimes, you can see it from his perspective and see where he's coming from and almost kind of get on board a little bit. Like if you didn't know that Superman was a really good guy, you would probably side with Lex. So yeah, very excited about that movie. I think it looks like it's going to be fun. I'm getting all sorts of notifications. All right. What time is it right now? Oh, we got a few more minutes. Got a few more minutes, guys. Other comics. Let's see. I've recommended basically all of the ones. Were there ones that I was disappointed with other than Secret Wars? I'm trying to think, trying to look around. Aquaman. I'm a big fan of Aquaman. You guys know this hopefully by now. I love Aquaman. And I loved his initial runs, his first few runs in the New 52. But lately, they've just been kind of lackluster for me. So I would say I'm a little bit disappointed by those. But, I mean, I'm still going to keep reading it because it's Aquaman. And I know that's counterproductive, but I don't know. I just, it wasn't great. Yep. Let's see. Injustice Gods Among Us. I have not read. Everyone tells me I should. I'm sure I will someday. All right. Let's see. Phantom. Yeah. I'd love to read some Phantom stuff after that video we did. Favorite hero of the year. Probably Miss Marvel. I think she's great, consistently great, and very relatable, and very fun, and funny, and awesome. So for me, that's probably got to be my pick. We're going to probably end it here pretty shortly, pretty soon. Is that a better way to say that? But I just wanted to say, before we wrap up, that this year has been an incredible year for NerdSync and for me personally as well. And you guys, I mean, I don't mean to get all sappy here or anything, but you guys have made this one of the best years of my entire life. We had about 50,000 subscribers last year, a little bit less than that, and we're finishing the year with almost 200,000, hopefully 200,000 before the year ends, and it has been super fun. I've met a lot of great people, a lot of great friends. We've been making these new shows, getting a lot better and at writing and editing, and really making episodes and videos that I'm super proud of. And just talking with you guys in the comments is super encouraging. And I see people are starting to drop off as I'm getting a little sappy. I apologize. But look, guys, it has been a blast, and I know that next year is going to be even better. We're going to continue with these live shows. We got a lot of great new content coming up for you guys for next year. I've already planned out all of my videos through April, all of Comic Misconceptions anyway, through April. And it's going to be some good stuff. I think you guys are going to like what we have in store. So, yeah. Just wanted to say that. And just thanks. Thanks so much again. I have nothing else to add to that, but just thanks for making 2015 a fantastic and amazing year. So, looking forward to 2016, and it's gonna be good. It's gonna be the age of NerdSync. Probably not, but it's fun stuff. So, thanks so much, guys. Once again, I've said that so much, but honestly, I can't say it enough. And I'll see you guys. We got a 4-part series coming up of Comic Misconceptions these next few weeks. So look forward to that. Watch those. They're really fun. And then the next live show will probably be sometime in January. So I guess I will see you guys next year. So we can hang out some more. It'll be awesome. Awesome. All right. Thanks, guys. Bye.